А ногти прямо под первой. Да я Наталья Ивановна.
Всегда толстовка. Толстовка. Это хмарь, это толстовка. Вася, как ты сегодня ставишь?
Те, которые начинают сегодня учебный год вместе с нами. От имени учителей школы, от имени партийной организации я поздравляю вас с началом нового учебного года. Сегодня праздник мира, праздник нашим друзьям из Соединенных Штатов Америки. Хотелось сказать несколько слов этим утром.
And I apologize for the fact that I cannot speak them to you in Russian.
Я очень извиняюсь, что я не могу сказать эти слова по-русски.
I think the English word that best expresses how all of us Americans up here feel is wow.
Единственное слово, которое бы выразило наше восхищение, это слово «вау».
To see all of the students and the parents and all of the flowers, the freshly ironed clothes, the bright scrubbed faces.
Здоровая и мирная. Будь здоров! Руководителей нашего города. От имени старшего поколения слово предоставляется Ире Ивановне. Наши дорогие гости, поздравляю вас от обычных честей Советского комитета ветеранов войны с этим светлым, добрым праздником.
Значение слова, то есть слова амонимы. И вот сегодня мне будет...
So there are two meanings of this word, two meanings of them.
И сегодня я хочу, чтобы вы еще раз вспомнили, что же обозначает это слово.
So I would like you, all of you, to try to remember what is the meaning, what are these two meanings of the word.
Явление или предметов. Мир животных, мир земли.
Another meaning of this word is the world, you have in English, the world of the animals, the world of the human beings, the world of the plants. In Russian it's the same, мир.
И второе значение слова «мир» тоже многозначно. И второе значение – это тоже многозначное значение слова. Прослушайте, пожалуйста, ребята. Первое – согласные отношения, спокойствие, отсутствие вражды, войны, ссоры. Президентами, генеральным секретарем нашей партии Михаилом Сергеевичем Горбачевым и президентом Рональдом Рейганом. Тогда было начало положено совместного советско-американского диалога.
You have to know, I want to remind you that the beginning of the Soviet-American dialogue was in 1987 when the talks, the summit talks between the leaders of our countries, Ronald Reagan, the president of USA, and Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev took place. It was the beginning of the dialogue, and now this dialogue has its continuation.
Основная мысль, которая звучала на этом диалоге, это мысль о уничтожении ядерного оружия.
So the main idea, do you remember? The day of the birthday of what? Of Komsomol, and the second day, the day of the young anti-fascists. You don't know, of course. So this is the participation. So I'm awfully sorry that you don't remember the date, exact date. But I'm very thankful that you do remember that the fairs take place in the school. So the fairs. What is the second thing? What do you do? What do you do to preserve peace? How do you understand your participation in this? Friend, help me. How do you understand your participation?
We must participate in the meetings for the...
In different meetings in support of different actions. Yes.
And on these meetings we...
What do? You speak, you make speeches, yes, and you address the audience.
Address the audience.
Yes, of course.
Our thought about their future without their...
Keep order.
I'm going to pose an argument that occurs regularly in America. And that argument is whether peace is maintained by armaments. Part of your proposition was that we should remove armaments and peace will be preserved. We have regularly within our nation arguments about whether or not we should have more armaments to preserve peace or less armaments to preserve peace. We are at some crucial moments for us in our nation in determining whether or not we build more armaments or less armaments. I believe the Soviet peoples have the same questions in front of them. The tremendous expenses that our two nations have for our military. In America, we see, as we left America 15 days ago, there is great discussion about expenditures for the stealth bomber. If you may know that name, the stealth bomber is a very expensive, brand new airplane, and it costs billions of dollars. I believe 353 billion, not million, but billion. That's 1,000 million. $353,000 million, one plane for us. It costs the same as if it was built out of gold. Really, you could build the weight of the plane it would cost less if you just built the plane out of gold by our standards. And some people want to build that plane to preserve peace, they say. Other people say
actions, yes. Different actions and different
they are the people who believe that bigger swords, bigger swords, bigger swords, in the image of swords into plowshares. And we have other people who argue and say no. Senators and congressmen who say very strongly, this is a waste of our resources. And as you probably know, our nation and your nation are currently moving a little bit back away from expenditures. And maybe taking your teacher's theory that fewer armaments, less guns, fewer bombers, fewer missiles will bring us closer to peace rather than more and more. But it is an argument that we have regularly.
Yes, it is. And in our country, the same.
Our students, when they work for peace, probably take one side or the other in that argument. And argue with their parents or with one another or with us about how they feel the best way for our nation to move. It does seem to me, though, that we are moving a little bit closer each day toward less armaments. 10 years ago, there would have been no question. We would have built